obviously it challenges our fans because they never know what they're going to get when they pop in a new Korn CD. I think the one thing that keeps us driven is the creativity. Just staying creative, and that's in the studio. When we're in the studio, that's what keeps us going. And I don't. As far as being a seminal part of metal, we just do what we do. I try not to look at it in such a wide, scope as that. Just stay focused in the most. Yeah, it just works.
My turn. Ryan from Here Magazine, man. I grew up listening to you guys. Thank you for everything. You guys have been to Detroit many times. It's every time you've been here. You got any stories that stand out? Something that you want to share?
Detroit. I used to have a stalker here. She's probably here today.
Probably.
Yeah. That's probably not a good thing, though. It's not a really thing I want to remember. But
yeah. Better than that.
The crowds. I remember the crowds always being good. The crowds have always been super loyal to this band, so I'm really grateful about that.
Awesome. Thank you.
What is it like having Brian Welch back in the band?
Man, a lot of fans have said, "Oh, it's so great to have him back," and every time they say that, I always think it's not as great as it is for me because he's my brother with the left and right speaker. So having him back is just like it's a family member. It's like you hadn't seen your brother in so long, and now he's back into the family. I think the band really needed it for a long time. So now to create that powerhouse Korn is supposed to sound like a wall of guitars is so pleasing to not only the fans but us when we're in the studio coming up and riffing and creatively. So it's a lot of fun. It's fun again. Yeah.
So, speaking of as your sound has evolved over the years, you guys have never really had a negative vibe, but always more of a darker side of life. As you've gotten older and matured, how's the retrospect in your music played out in your lyrics and the way you write them?
Yeah, I mean, we're all fathers, we all have families, and I think there's different issues, more a wider kind of spectrum of issues that Jonathan talks about now, which is good because he gets out of his internal, kind of focused pain, I guess, if you will, about what he's dealing with. It kind of covers a bit more territory recently. Some stuff like on the Paradigm Shift, and so a little bit more social issues. So I think that's definitely shows maturity throughout the 20 years.
Thank you.
Hi, my name's Alex. I'm with the Michigan Times. Nice to meet you. You mentioned about family. How is it traveling on the road with a family back home? I know you have a son.
Yes.
How is it? Does he come on
really
tour with
hard.
you at all?
I try to do like 3 or 4 times. We do FaceTime or Skype or something.
Oh, very cool.
That's what keeps all these guys out here sane,
That's really cool. Love technology like that.
Yeah. So that's kind of how we get around missing our family. But yeah, you see small changes, through video chat and stuff. So, but you really notice it when you get home.
Yeah.
It's kind of it's the only downside to doing what we do. Missing them, but we're doing what we love. So
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you.
We're about halfway through the tour here. What's your guys' plan for after?
We're working on something now. I can't say. Another tour. There we go. Surprise. Another tour. So, but we're waiting to kind of figure that out. Hopefully, we'll figure that out by the end of the week. But it should be a package with another big band and probably arenas thing. But trying to get that figured out. And we actually have 3 shows in Europe. One's in Russia. It's called the Cubana Festival. It's like right on the beach. I think it's on the Black Sea. And then we have another festival called Rockenheim. The guys who put on Rock am Ring and Rock am Park started a new festival, and so we're gonna go out and play. Actually, we'll play right before Skrillex, so maybe I'll try to get up, do some jamming with him. And then there's another festival. It's a festival in Budapest. So as soon as we're done, we go home for about 3 days, and then we go to Europe to do these 3 festivals.
You guys are one of the first to embrace electronic music. What made you do that, and what do you see for the future, not only with Korn, but with the whole metal electronic combination?
I think there were a lot of bands, you know. I think we just sort of pushed it in people harder into the mainstream because there was a lot of industrial bands that I love, like Ministry and Nine Inch Nails, but there was a very darker side to that electronic music. And, I think what we did was take a little bit more of a pop culture element and push it into the mainstream. But what was the question?
What do you see in the future? Is there something else you guys want to do? Do you see, there's a lot of bands, actually, Jandio did something electronic. Do you see more of that coming out?
It's hard to say right now because I like where I see music expanding in electronics and also with the heavier, you know, it's kind of expanding that world of heaviness and electronics and working those 2 elements together. But I don't. For us, it's hard to say. Honestly, we started out trying to mesh funk and metal, and we were really into thrash metal when we started this band, like Anthrax, and we loved how Anthrax did Bring the Noise, Public Enemy, and all that stuff, like the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Faith No More. All that stuff really influenced us to shape the sound at the beginning of Korn. And I see ourselves as more of like a funk metal band. But then someone stamped us with the new metal thing, and that stuck, which is fine. But to me, we're still just a funk metal. You feel the slapping and the heavy. So I think that we can maybe evolve into a little bit more of a funk thing, you know. Demos and things that I've been working on, Jonathan's been working on, tend to have like a, I don't know, like a Bootsy Collins sort of. Have you ever heard this band? It's like Bill Laswell, sort of that kind of electronic funk, Herbie Hancock kind of. Yeah, but you know, it'd still be metal and still have Korn because we just can't get away from that's who we are. Have fun.
I'll take her question too. So recently, Gene Simmons did an interview where he was lamenting the fact that fans have killed the music industry. What's your take on that?
Listen, if someone's passing out shit for free, I'm gonna take it. You know, I think that. I don't think it is. I think the fans have. I agree with him as far as people taking the music and there's no going back. You know, you can't just go, okay, now we found out a way to charge everybody. It's like, well, you can't go back and now expect people to pay for music. But I think that it's kind of fucked up. It is kind of fucked up, but we still have to make. I had a brain for it.
Okay. Well, part 2 of that, do you think the fans have more control over the direction of the music industry these days?
Yeah, I think they get to pick and choose instead of big labels pumping, you know, bands into people's faces and saying this is what's good. It's fans that get to choose what bands become popular, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube. You know, it gets a buzz. You know, underground buzz. I think that's how bands are uplifted nowadays.
Since we're in Michigan, Michigan's a medical marijuana state. Do you have any views on medical marijuana?
Yeah, if you're gonna eat it, just eat a little bit. Don't make the mistake of eating a whole brownie thinking that it's equivalent to one joint. Because it's a different experience, I found out.
Definitely.
Hard way. But I think it's great, and I have a couple family members that use it for medical purposes, and it's made my family. I've known because my own family has experienced positive effects from medical usage and being prescribed from a doctor. And,
Yeah.
So, I mean, we were just in Colorado, and they legalized it for recreational use, and I hope they don't fuck it up for us.
Yeah.
For California, because I live in California, so I think that'll be on the bill the next election.
Cool.
And, yeah, I even told a couple of fans, I was like, don't fuck this up for us, please.
Yep.
Because it can be done.
Yep. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
One more question, guys.
What would you say has been the most memorable moment of this tour so far?
The first show, because we had all of our families out, and it was fucking chaos, and it was just, and when we got on stage, it just felt like a giant freight train ready to come off the tracks, because we had a half of a rehearsal, and we were doing a new song, and we were trying to figure out the Led Zeppelin cover that we still have yet to have time to rehearse it. We didn't know whether we were going to do it, and everyone's family's there. Literally, there's 100 people on each side of the stage, and it was like everyone's cousins. It was chaos. We had a lot of fun, but we were just happy to pull out of there and head away from that because it was a lot of stress.
Last one. What's next for Korn?
Yeah.
We're gonna tour and probably until the end of the year and take some breaks here and there, and then we'll think about going in maybe the beginning of the year and start writing some new songs. I don't know how much time we'll have, but we'll probably go to Europe again in the summertime, and maybe I mean, what else do bands do?
Well, awesome,
They make
man.
records and tour. We're going to try to come up with something unique and for our fans to experience each of these shows, because try to change it so each time it's a new experience for fans. And whether it's a meet and greet, I know a lot of bands are doing meet and greets. We've changed it this year. We do an after party, and it's cool because we can kind of mingle with some of the people, and it's a.
Where's the after party?
The after party is usually at the venue. Last night it was supposed to be somewhere else, and something got messed up. Usually we set up a tent here, maybe 50, 100 people come, and it's kind of a better experience than just standing in the line and saying hello and signing autographs. Yeah, this way they get to ask us personal questions. Sometimes we do a Q&A, and it's, I think, overall better experience for the fans. So we're going to come up with more things like that too.
Great idea.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.